It's a thing. So I don't know if you are being able to see us better, but certainly it's more fun. So, and you know, and laughter is a spiritual thing. So to have some laughter in the Beit Tefillah, in the house of prayer, it is actually a very good idea. So this Shabbat Tkuma, is a Shabbat of rising, of standing after the fall. In Israel, it is the Shabbat between Yom HaShoah, the memorial day for the Holocaust, and Yom Ha'atzmaut, the Independence Day, when we mark the journey from the destruction to rebirth, from grief to renewed life. And in Judaism, in our tradition, failing is not the end. It's part of the beginning. As Proverbs teaches, the book of Mishlei of Proverbs, Ksheva ipol tzadik. A righteous person falls 7 times and rises again. Yet, we must be clear. The Shoah, the Holocaust, was not the fall of the Jewish people. The Shoah was the collapse of decency. It was the crumbling of humanity itself. In this week's Torah portion, Parashat Shmini, we read one of the most heartbreaking verses in all of Torah. Aaron, the high priest, witnesses the sudden, devastating death of his sons, Nadav and Avihu, and the text says, the scripture says simply, Vayadom Aaron, and Aaron was silent. Silence can sometimes be holy. There is a silence that screams from the depths of pain, a silence because words are too small to hold the weight of grief. Aaron's silence is the silence of heartbreak. It is the silence of every parent who ever mourned a child. The silence of a soul gasping for air. But there is another kind of silence. The Torah warns us, Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor, in the same book of Leviticus. There is a silence, that is a silence, that is not holy. There is a silence, that silence is not about pain. That silence is about indifference. The silence of those who turn away, who refuse to see, who let evil grow without protest. During the Shoah, we saw both silences. We saw the sacred silence of survivors, the silence of those whose suffering defies language, and we saw the dangerous silence of bystanders, the silence of those who allowed cruelty to triumph. And yet, even in the darkest time, there were some who refused to be silent. The righteous among the nations, the Hasidei Umot Haolam, those who risked everything to save Jewish lives, often without knowing the same people, the people that they saved. Their courage reminds us that silence is a choice. And so is speaking out and acting. The state of Israel is not a perfect answer. It is not a flawless miracle. It is not a story without struggle, but it is a miracle nonetheless. It is the Tkumah, the rising of a people who refused to stay buried under the weight of history. It is the fierce, imperfect, stubborn building of life after devastation. Israel is a country, and like any country, it has leaders we might disagree with or agree with sometimes. We are entitled, obligated to criticize decisions that travel us, to debate policies passionately. That is part of love. It's part of the connection that we have with the state of Israel. But let's not be confused. Israel is not just any other country. Israel is not an accident of history. It is not just another flag among the flags of the nations. It is the home that rose from the ashes and graves. It is the answer to a world that for too long said to the Jewish people, you do not belong. Israel is not perfect. Believe me, it's not. But it is necessary. Israel is not blameless, but Israel is ours. Israel is ours and those are yours. And we love them. That's what you call an entrance and an exit. Ken Yirvul, may we have many, many, many children that feel comfortable to enter the synagogue, speak to their parents, open the door, close the door. That's what we want, and we want many of those. So they are the foundation, hopefully, of many, many kids that run here and speak loudly. That's a blessing. That's what blessing sounds like, okay? Remember that. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Israel is not perfect, but Israel is necessary. Israel is not blameless, but Israel is ours. Israel is not beyond criticism, but Israel is beyond indifference. Today, on Shabbat Kumah, we remember the silence of grief, the danger of the silence of indifference, and the courage it takes to refuse to be silent. We honor those who stood when it was easier to fall. We honor those who rebuilt when it would have been easier to give up. We honor a generation that turned tears into cities, ashes into hope, despair into song. And we pledge that we too will not stand idly by. We will not be silent when life is threatened. We will not be silent when decency is attacked. We will not be silent when hope needs protectors. As Israel will turn this next week 77 years old, we'll say, I say, and hope we say, with full hearts and with fierce love, Od lo avda tikvateinu. Our hope is not lost, and it will never be. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue our service on page 5.